everyone, and welcome to today's assessment brief. We take a look at the pro-reform protests and the rising tensions in Nigeria. Here are the key takeaways. So the youth-led protests will be held across Nigeria from the 1st of August to the 10th of August. The key protest issues include high fuel prices, high electricity tariffs, corruption, and unemployment, among others. These protests have been largely inspired by similar demonstrations that are taking place in Kenya. Counter-protests in support of the Nigerian government are also scheduled to take place from the 1st of August to the 15th of August. President Bola Tinubu has assured, protesters of the constitutional guarantee to hold the demonstrations, but his administration has warned against criminal elements that are said, worried to take advantage to cause chaos. Anyway, what do we expect, Ramu, from these developments?
Thank you, Sitati. So the current wave of the upcoming protests in Nigeria are a ripple effect from similar movements that we had witnessed, over a few weeks back in Kenya. It's like a wave of anti-government sentiment sweeping across the region. The Nigerian people are fed up with high fuel and electricity prices, especially since the withdrawal of the fuel subsidies by the federal government, along with problems with regard to endemic corruption and rampant unemployment. So overall, it's a boiling pot of frustration with the government's long-term performance. For instance, think back to the October 2020 hashtag end SARS protests, against police brutality in Nigeria. This had escalated into mass unrest, and under the circumstances, there is a real chance of violence happening yet again. But on the flip side, these protests could even push the government to be more accountable and make positive changes. So, in a way, it is a double-edged sword. Uh, in Kenya, these mass protests earlier this year against tax hikes and the high cost of living had drawn huge crowds. Similarly, in Nigeria, people are rallying against skyrocketing fuel prices, which are making everyday life pretty tough. It's like watching the same movie in different theaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me just cut to the chase over here. If the government fails to address the protesters' demands, we could see prolonged unrest. This could destabilize the country further, scare off foreign investment, even disrupt daily life for millions of people. On the other hand, if the government meets some of the key demands, it could restore public trust and set Nigeria on a path towards better governance and economic stability. Now, Sitati, here comes the main element.
Yes.
How can this impact businesses with operational footprint and portfolio exposure in Nigeria and even in the region in the vicinity?
Well, in the very short term, we anticipate disruptions to, transportation, traffic disruptions in particular on roads near the protest sites, and also intermittent disruptions to supply chains once the protests take place. And of course, a relative increase in the level of, risks such as personnel, physical assets, and financial related risks are also expected. Anyway, that marks the end of our discussion today. Join us for more other insightful discussions going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.